Welcome to the Circle of Joy, the place to be if you want to ignite your inner power and lead your life with more flow, passion, and joy. My name is Moni Rodriguez. I am the author of I Am Joy book, international speaker and mentor, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the next episode in this podcast. Let's get started. Today I wanted to talk about something very, very dear to me, and it's about overcoming fears. And when I was thinking about fear and what it means to me, it's really something that have been very, very much something that helped me a lot in my journey to really expand and become more of who I truly am. And when I went into the journey of really finding what I wanted to do in my life, and I didn't have much clarity, I think about those times when I really felt that I was not able to move forward. For instance, with public speaking, I always knew deep inside that I was meant to at some point be writing books, and so if I wanted to write books, I will need to go out there and share the message. And since I think they say that one of the biggest fears that any human being has is to be doing public speaking, so I'm in those numbers of people who really was shaking and scared of speaking in front of people. I even remember calling off sick because I really didn't want to speak in a work presentation, and I think it was only for 4 or 5 people. And now seeing myself speaking in front of more than 200 people at a time, even 300, without much preparation, to be honest. I've been a guest speaker as a panelist on women's leadership, also presenting short presentations in the Women Economic Forum, and preparing myself to become a TED speaker or any other facilitation that I need to do nowadays as a workshop leader and facilitator. It's very surprising to me, but it's also very much something that proves that if you really have a dream and if you really, really have a true desire in your heart, that you can become whatever you want. And I believe that we are all limitless. We have the same potential. However, fear of being judged, or fear of failure, fear of success, which is one that I'm dealing with at the moment, or any other fear that really brings us to that awareness that our mind wants to keep us safe. And when I decided to really look at my fears, my inner demons, as I call them, very closely, I realized that they were a gift, because they were showing me what in my subconscious mind was there to really bring awareness on what I thought about myself and break those limiting beliefs and step into more of my true power as a human being. And I think every time we really want to go for something new, we will always experience fear, because it's something natural. Our mind wants to keep us safe, and really it's something that when we are able to slow down and feel the feeling of what really wants to come through, it's the biggest gift that we can really have in our life, because the more we grow and the more we expand, the more we will face our fears. So I think it never goes away, really. It's just new parts of us that want to be expressed. And when we face these blocks, it's a very good opportunity to ask ourselves why. So to give you a practical example of my life, because I really like to be transparent and authentic, and also give people real examples, because it's all about leading by example, I believe, not about pretending to be perfect. I recently experienced a deep fear within me, and that was really when I had to imagine myself going into the next step in my journey. So as an author, almost finishing my first solo book, even though I've been presenting and I've been speaking in public for a while now, and I have done 4 book collaborations with other women, and I felt very confident in that role. When I started to really freak out, really, was now when I had to share more intimate parts of me, or what I felt it was more vulnerable, because it was all about the message of my own journey and also helping people to go into their inner journey. And believe it or not, I felt that as I needed to become more visible to really impact the people I want to impact with the book, and because this book is also giving back to some causes that I care deeply about, I was really imagining that, well, if I really want to achieve this dream, that means I need to be even more visible and go out there and speak to more people. And unconsciously, I was obviously getting very busy with other work that I had, but unconsciously I will put this on the side of my work, because I always say, when you procrastinate, you have to look really, why are you doing? Why are you fearing out there? Because it's a very good indicator that you fear something, either failure or judgment or whatever. So as I already experienced some sort of, kind of, every time you go into the journey as well, you need to be aware that there will be people who will love you, people who will not care much about it, and there will be people who will always find a reason to complain or to criticize or to put you down, because that's what some people do, unfortunately, in the world, unless they find that deep love for themselves. And so I experienced almost last year an opportunity for me to really live in my body what it feels not to have clear boundaries when someone really wants to kind of give their opinion about what you should or not do with your life or with your vision of helping people. And sometimes we will be mirrors of people as well. So when someone admires something in you, they will really see something about themselves. And the same is true when someone really doesn't feel good about what you're doing, or they reject you, or whatever that is. They are rejecting themselves, really. They are finding something within them very uncomfortable. So we always need to remember that there will be people out there that they will not like it, whatever we do, wherever we say. And as long as we know in our hearts why we are doing this, we should feel good about it, because I think the worst thing that can happen for us is not to live our dreams or not to make our dreams come true just because we care too much about what other people will say at some point. And recently I also remind myself that I'm almost 40, and that it won't matter very much in maybe 50 or 60 years. What am I caring about now? What am I fearing now? I'd rather get over these fears, because otherwise the people that I really want to impact won't get impacted, and maybe in my funeral people won't be talking so much about the legacy that I left, and more about how much I got stuck in my fears and I never got to fulfill the dreams I had. So this is something I really keep in mind, and I would like you to explore when you feel that you feel down, or that you won't be able to overcome those fears, or that you feel inadequate in any sort of situation. Pick the people that you admire. I call them heroes or heroines, but you have those qualities within you as well. And explore what other people did to overcome those fears. Explore also connecting with people who really believes in your vision, that they are always there to support you. I think community is super important, and then new kind of world that we want to create, where we work from a place of supporting each other, kindness, and believing that we can actually shift things in the world. So reminding myself of those things was very powerful a few weeks ago, because I had to let go of things that were not serving my purpose anymore, like a very well paid opportunity in my business that was not aligned to that. And sometimes also fear of not having that safety, like money or something, can also get us stuck. And maybe after a few years, we realize that we wasted our time and our health in something that was not meaningful. And so practical ways now, before I finish, to overcome fear is, number one, reminding yourself that the only thing that is constant in life is change, and that you don't know how long it will last, really, until you leave this planet, and we never know. So appreciate every single moment in your life and make it unique and special, because I always believe in the carpe diem kind of philosophy of live the moment intensively now, because that's the only thing that we have. And as a joy alchemist, I really believe in living life to the fullest. And why will I just fear something that didn't even happen, really? So that's what I need to remind myself when I'm caring too much about what's happening next. Reminding myself to be in the present moment, enjoy the moment, and remind myself that you never know when the last day will be for you. So enjoy the party. Number two probably is about, instead of imagining what if people laugh about me, or what if I don't get to earn the same money, what if, whatever the fear is, flip it into something that is kind of more elevated state of thinking and being. So what if I actually become a best-selling author? What if I really impact millions of people with my message? What if with this book I can transform the world, really? Or what if I can earn a lot of kind of abundance on the way to contribute to others? What if I feel dancing of joy when I achieve my dreams? So the what if can be always about amazing things, not about the worst outcome that we probably will never experience, but we fear that might happen, And also remind yourself, what's the worst that can happen? So imagine you go, I talk a lot about public speaking because that was my fear, but choose or pick any situation in your life. But for me, it was like, oh my God, what if I say something wrong and someone challenge what I say? And I imagine what's the worst that can happen, We never know all the answers. So what's the worst that can happen? That I don't have an answer, that someone challenge what I say. So what's the fear on that? We are all having different points of view. So as long as we accept and fully respect who we are, we shouldn't fear what others think about what we say or what we do, really. And number three, I guess, is every time you have fear, just welcome it in your life like a friend, something that is not against you, but to show you probably the deep corners of your mind that are there to really bring more of who you are. But at the moment, you might be in the shadow of what is limiting you from experiencing a better life. So imagine that it's just a very nice friend that wants to keep you safe, and you just look at the fear, your friend, and say, thank you so much for willing to keep me safe, but I feel super safe, and I really appreciate so much what you're trying to do here. But I don't really need this at the moment. I feel safe within myself, and I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna keep doing what I wanted to do and imagining that it's gonna be amazing at the end of my journey when I overcome this next step in my way. And that's it. Like, imagine that fear can be actually your best friend. That's what I kind of understood in my journey, that the more I loved that fear, the more that fear will really be something positive in my life. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I just wanted to give you some kind of inspiration about fear, because one of the common things that I encountered when I was in my beginning of working with women and coaching women, most of the women were really saying that one of the biggest fears they had was the fear of failure. And it made me think about my journey, that, failing is not an option for me because it's always about experience. But I definitely had fear of success, of not being able to cope with what I needed to do, what I needed to become along the process to be more of who I am. And I really wanted to kind of give you a practical kind of thing to be thinking about as an example as well of my own journey. And hopefully, if you have that dream inside you, you overcome it and make it possible for you. So I send you lots of love, and until next episode, and have a great week. Bye.